New science and research show that you can change your brain, which means that you can change your life. I'm Dan Sullivan, a neurostrategist designed by God and passionate about the brain. There's lots of information when it comes to business success and growth. I'm here to help you think and build your dreams in reality. In this video, I'm going to talk about the power of neuroplasticity and how you can rewire your brain to have more business and life success. And if you like this content and you like this video, don't forget subscribe, comment below, and like, because there's a lot more where this came from. There's a lot of talk and hype around this idea of neuroplasticity. I want to break that down and make it very simple for you. I love the neuroscience, but I'm also very simple. And so what I want to help you do is to realize first that you can rewire your brain. This should give you hope, because when you can rewire your brain, you can look at the world different, you experience it different, and get the things that we all want, right? It's joy, happiness, peace. This should give us a level of confidence, should give you a level of confidence that you know you can change it. So when it comes to neuroplasticity, that simply means the brain can change. Plastic is moldable, right? When you think about plastic, it's moldable. And the crazy part is when I think about that and I look at the neuroscience, it's not that the brain tissue actually changes. It's that those little neurons, again, you know these little synapses, there's synapses within your brain, these electrical neurons that fire together. And what we say is when they fire together, they wire together. The cool part about rewiring your brain, or this concept of neuroplasticity, is that we know it can change. You are not just set in your ways. So even though you may have been raised a certain way, maybe you have certain limiting beliefs around your future, maybe there's uncertainties and lack of confidence, or maybe just a lack of skill set, you can change it. That's what gets us so excited about this neuroplasticity concept, and it should get you excited too. So I have a 4-year-old and her name is Honor, and she always beats me at the game Memory Match. So if you're a dad or your mom out there, or maybe you just played, you got nieces and nephews, you played this game with somebody under the age of 8, typically they will beat you. And I used to get so frustrated, and actually I'm like, are you cheating? And this has happened to me over and over again. But then I was doing some study and more of a realization, because I take back to my neuroscience, really neuroscience textbook days, and I was reminded that there are so many synapses growing in a 4-year-old that for her to turn over a card and remember where that's at was way easier for me, right? Memory matches where you turn over one card and you try to find the match. Well, it's like, it's hard for me to remember, especially when it's at the beginning of the game. And she's like, I'm like, are you cheating? Did you know these cards? And she kept doing it over and over and over again. And then it realized, oh, you can see it once and you know where it's at. You don't forget that. It's why kids, think about this. This is why kids, it's easier for them to learn languages. When they have 2 languages in the house, they can learn both languages, where an adult, in a short period of time, where an adult would take, so much emphasis and focus and study, at later ages. The reason is because from 0 to 12 years old, it's clear that there's more synapses actually growing together. Now, why does this matter? Because that's neuroplasticity at its best, like at its most kind of fundamental level. But the cool part is, even if you are adult, we now know, the research is, you can change it even going forward. So again, how does that change your life? Like, you think about where you're at right now, the future, wherever you want to go, your vision, your dreams, your goals, you can bring into reality by acquiring new skill sets, by learning new things, or by deploying it, just implementing the things that you know how to do. So what I want to make sure you do is how to rewire that brain. It reminds me of a story that maybe you know about or you've heard before. In fact, I had a mentor one time that said, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And so the story was this, as there was 2 brothers sitting at a bus stop. One of them was a homeless addict, and another one is a successful business person. And somebody comes up to them and asks them both at the same time, how did you get here? And the homeless addict said, I had a father who was an alcoholic. And looked at the other successful business brother, and he said, how'd you get here? And he said, I had a father who was an alcoholic. Same brothers, same household, same dad, ultimately different paths. So it tells us, again, one was wired a certain way and one was wired another way. And so no matter where you've been, again, you can rewire it. So let's dive into, how do you begin rewiring this thing you call, your brain that's driving all your results. And so the fundamentals would be your beliefs. This is a fundamental. Your beliefs drive your actions, which drive your results. Say it again, your beliefs drive your actions, which drive your results. And this isn't some sort of mindset class or, video on how to, just think everything into existence. But your belief creates this expectation that you're gonna take actions on. And I will also say, when you think about that, the success in your life is gonna be dependent upon your skills and your traits. So say you wanna get healthy, you wanna lower body fat and increase muscle. Your traits that you put into place or that you put in your life, those staples, those traits, who you are and how disciplined you are, that's integrity and how you go about things, your word, and what does that mean when you say you're gonna do something, do you do it? Those are the traits. So again, you can rewire to have the right traits, or rewire by learning new skill sets, learning new traits, applying them. And so beliefs drive your actions, drive your results. And it's never something huge. So I was reading a book recently called The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson, and he talked about how it's never a breakthrough. And this has been my experience throughout my life. So whether it be, sports in growing up, grades growing up, school growing up, sports in college, I was able to go play sports in college, and then, ultimately graduate school, and being around enough people, and then coaching and mentoring leaders and business people and health leaders, I have found this to be true, that it's never the sharpest knife in the drawer, if you will. It's never the most talented. I've been around some of those talented kids or leaders, and it's never the most talented ones. It's the ones that will do the thing the longest. The ones that will do the thing the longest. The bar for success is a lot lower than you've been led to believe. It's never a big breakthrough. It's the slight edge. So this is the beauty of changing your brain. It's not about overcoming everything at once. It's the slight edge, day by day by day, because most people will fall off. So this is the beauty. I'm starting off. Here's the top things and takeaways you need to make sure you're doing to change your brain, is that you first have to understand, create this understanding or recognize that it's about the slight edge, the little things you're doing over and over and over again. So I want to go over the 4 keys that you can be doing right now that you can implement immediately to start rewiring your brain for success. Key number 1 is repetition. The brain is wired for repetition, right? The body is actually wired for repetition. In fact, there was a study out of Temple University in 1977 where these researchers actually took these people, these subjects, and they exposed them to both true and false information. And it turns out that over a period of time, even the subject who knew what they were exposed to was false eventually believed the lie. They believed this thing that was not true because of exposure repeatedly. So this is, again, a word of the wise here, repetition, but make sure it's accurate and it's truthful, right? Read the right things, affirm the right things. When it comes to your goals and your visions, what are you putting in front of you? Do you see your future, right? And so repetition is key. That's number 1 to rewiring your brain. So make sure what you're repeating is the right thing, it's the accurate thing, it's the true thing, and it's the thing that you want. Key number 2 for rewiring your brain for success is experience. I can tell my daughter all about riding a bike. I can show her a book on it. I can even show her videos on it. But until she actually experiences it, she will never be able to truly ride a bike and know what that's like. The same thing, I'm a wannabe golfer. The idea of me, I could study golf shots. I could look on, Instagram. There's a lot of golfers on Instagram. I can look up YouTube videos on how to better golf. But until I actually go do it and have somebody evaluate me and get better at it and change things, I can't do it. So it turns out that experience actually wires your brain, arguably more than anything. Experience, right? Think about cooking, or, say cooking, you could talk all you want about how to cook something, but until you do it, you don't know how to do it. So think about your future, your business, your skill sets you want, the things that you want in your life. You can do that in your life if you put yourself in the right experiences. Key number 3 is all about your environment. I like to say your environment will eat strategy for breakfast. I'll say it again, your environment will eat strategy for breakfast. So environment's everything, right? So when you think about environment, who are you around? You've heard, you are the product of the 5 people you hang around with most. So who you hang around with, and then where are you at? The environment that you're in, your home, your office, your work, your school, wherever it is, the environment is actually going to be one of the keys to your future. So if you want to rewire the brain and this neuroplastic brain and mold it appropriately, get in the environments that you want. When you see other people doing what you want to do, by the way, it actually makes you believe that it can be true, right? And belief leads to action, which leads to results. So people and places, the people and the environment, everything about your environment is going to change it. And the last and the 4th one is wrap this all in story. I will bang this drum till kingdom come. And the reason why is because story is so powerful. It turns out story for your vision. Paint your vision in a story, right? What does your family look? What does your finance look like? What does your impact look like? Paint your goals, make them in a story, make them so compelling in a story. Story literally changes the way our brain will actually perceive the future and actually build it. So there's nothing more important than story. It turns out communication is all about story. You're gonna be the best communicator on the planet. The storytellers are. I love this piece because it turns out that neuroplasticity, changing and rewiring your brain for success, if you wrap it in story, the game completely changes. So there you have it, the 4 keys. If you are enjoying this content and you like videos like this, hit the subscribe button below or comment. I'll respond to each one. Punch that like button and start rewiring your brain for success. Because guess what? It's possible.